Hi, people. So, I don't usually cover celebrity stories because I find them a little bit vacuous and uninteresting. But I think this one has a number of talking points that's worth looking at. Um, so, this incident's probably going to go down as one of the most controversial, if not the most controversial ever at an Oscar ceremony. I mean, it's going to be up there with that mix-up in 2016 over the Best Winner. And it's also like one of those really awkward moments, like Steve Harvey reading out the wrong Miss World in 2015. So, little bit of context if you're not familiar with the incident. Um, the comedian Chris Rock was doing a monologue and he made inappropriate joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, um, along the lines of, I forget the verbatim, but it was along the lines of, if there's a G.I. Jane 2, you could be in it, or something like that. I forget the exact wording. But basically, it was a reference to the fact that she suffers alopecia, hair loss. And yeah, basically, what happened was Will Smith proceeded to go up on stage and basically strike Chris Rock. Some debate over whether it was a punch or a slap. I think more likely a slap, a hard slap, because I think if he punched him, he would have basically been knocked out. Because it was hard, whatever it was, you could hear it reverberating in the, I guess it was Chris Rock's microphone. Um, there was still laughter, so I guess people thought this was staged. But then when Will Smith got into a verbal tirade, he was sitting down again. He said, "Don't effing talk about my wife." And Rock was obviously a bit stunned, and he said, "Is Joke? I won't." And you could feel this hush going over the audience, like, "Well, this is for real." Now, firstly, on that point, a few people have questioned if it's authentic, if it's just some sort of gimmick to get attention back at the Oscars. I don't think it is because I think body language is a big indicator of something like that. And you could tell that Smith was genuinely angry at least after this. Now, some have pointed out that he was actually laughing himself until his wife kind of looked uncomfortable, which is interesting. Um, but you could tell by Smith's body language when he was swearing that he wasn't messing around, that he was genuinely angry. After he actually struck Rock, he looked kind of calm, but when he was sitting down again, and as for Rock, if you look at his face, he kind of looked stunned. You know, he looked like someone who'd just been hit. Um, so obviously it's a major talking point. There's a few ways to look at this. My gut feeling is assault can never be justified. Um, Now, I've been very vocal about what I feel about comedians going low, and I think targeting someone's family, their wife, over a condition that she can't help is low. I think it's just wrong to to use someone else's struggles or suffering as as a cheap point for humor. It's something that I've always um, being on uneasy with when comedians go down that line. And I think Rock knew what he was doing and he was wrong to do it. But does that warrant assault? I'm not sure. Some people have defended Smith. It's generated a huge debate. Some people have defended him. The actress, I assume she's an actress, I don't really know who she is, Tiffany Haddish, has said it was the most beautiful thing I've seen, a black man standing up for his wife. Um, That racial component actually is another talking point. Thank goodness both these guys were black. Why? Because you can imagine if one of them was white or another race, um, America being what it is regarding race, especially Hollywood, it would be just, it would absolutely explode. And I would suggest if a white actor took offense at his wife being the target of a joke and went and hit a black man, the likes of Tiffany Haddish would probably be taking a very different attitude. Um, so I absolutely loathe those sort of double standards. like I say, it's a big enough story as it is. It's all over. There's loads of different videos discussing it, analyzing it. It's on. It was actually the BBC's main news yesterday. Not Ukraine, not COVID, but this. Um, which that's a debate in itself. Should it be? Maybe not. Um, Apparently, Chris Rock hasn't filed charges. Smith actually won Best Actor for his role in King Richard, where he played father of Venus and Serena Williams. Um, and that's an unfortunate thing about this. Everything else has been overshadowed. The best picture was Coda, which was a groundbreaking film. It had an all deaf cast or mostly deaf cast. Now, that really should have been the big story of this Oscars, but it didn't get attention. It beat out on heavyweight films like Dune and Belfast. That should have been the big story. Jessica Chastain won Best Actress for her role as in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Looks like an interesting picture. Might check it out if it comes out. But now all the focus is on Will Smith. He won Best Actor like minutes later. Apparently, he'd spoken to several people. Denzel Washington, he quoted saying, "It's when you're at the top, then the demons come," or something like that. And he apologized to the Academy. He apologized to everyone there. Notably, he didn't apologize to Chris Rock until sometime later, in which case he tweeted an apology. Whether the two men are going to reconcile, I think they probably will because Rock didn't press charges. Smith apologized, so they probably will. Um, but it's this question of is assault ever justified for feeling offended or standing up for someone? I'm not sure that it is. I think that's a very different situation than, say, for example, Smith was with his wife and some muggers tried to attack them and he beat the hell out of them. You know, um, I think everyone would commend him. But when he, as a spur of the moment, because he's angry, decides to assault a man publicly, um, that's a different matter. I think Smith could have handled it differently. If he wasn't happy with the joke, he could have remonstrated with Chris Rock privately. He could have even made a scene, vocally, heckled something. I don't know. I think the fact that he assaulted Chris Rock, the irony, of course, is most people probably would have forgotten the joke, but now it's going to be known because of that incident. So that's sort of ironic. Some are saying that Jada Pinkett Smith is a negative influence on Will Smith. I don't know. Again, that's celebrity gossip. Um, there's an issue about celebrity privilege. It's kind of ironic. A few years ago, Will Smith was decrying the lack of diversity in the Oscars, but this is actually an example where he might be having some privilege as a celebrity. Because if a normal person went up to someone in a public place and punched them or slapped them, they'd be charged with assault. Or they'd at least be told to leave the premises. It would certainly there'd be some sort of consequences. Now the Academy has condemned it. They're probably not going to take away his Oscar. Should they? I don't know about that. Um, I mean, I certainly think that there should be some consequences. Otherwise, it becomes normalized, and it's like, well, as long as you apologize, it's fine. So I think he should be fined or something. There should be some maybe prohibited from going to any premieres for half a year, something like that. Um, an interesting development locally here. The Tory MP Diana Davison actually wrote to Will Smith. Now, she has a backstory. Her father died from one punch. It was a street assault, and he died from a single punch. So that's a big issue for her. I followed her a little bit as an MP, some of her work in this area, and I know she feels strongly about it. But with the greatest of respect to Deanna Davidson, the idea that Will Smith will travel across the Atlantic to go to a parliamentary hearing on one punch assaults is just, it's not going to happen. I do think it's telling that there are people in Hollywood, notably women, who are defending Smith and basically say, oh, yeah, he stepped up as a man, defended his wife. Well, he could have defended her without assaulting another man who wasn't posing any physical threat. That's the point. And it's a little bit I think, a negative message to send out that it's okay to assault people just because you feel your honor has been questioned or someone you love's honor. Now, as a guy, if someone made some cheap shot on my girlfriend, I don't have a girlfriend right now, but if I did, of course I'd be pissed off. Of course I wouldn't just let it go. But there is a difference between being angry and assaulting someone, and losing control is a line you have to be very careful about. Like I say, I think Smith could have remonstrated in a different way. Um, Probably Rock would have been criticized for that joke anyway. Um, I don't think comedians should make cheap shots like that. Anyway, let me know what you think. Like I say, usually I'm not interested in celebrity stories, but there's a lot of issues around this regarding what is masculinity, what is this idea of standing up for your wife, um, what is the red line, what consequences should be with Smith. There's a lot of questions. And as to it being staged, I really don't think it is. People who think that, I would say, look at the whole video, look at the body language. I really don't think it was staged. Um, all I would say is thank goodness they were both black guys, because unfortunately, if one of them was white, I mean, if the Joker was white, then you'd have a black identitarian saying, "Oh yes, the black man stood up for his honor." If the if the Joker was black and the assailant was white, then they'd be crying racism. Of course they would. Um, they'd say we've just seen a black man assaulted on public TV. It's another George Floyd moment. That's what they'd be saying. I know it sounds cynical, but unfortunately, that is what they would be saying. That's where America is with race relations right now. So thank goodness that we're both black. At least that controversy is avoided. Um, Let me know your thoughts on this incident.